Hi everyone, welcome back to Fingerstyle Ukulele with me, Matt Stead. Today's video really is just a short extension to the last one where we had a go at the lovely Sigh Waltz. Now, at the start of that video, when I included the full arrangement, you'll notice I added a section with strumming in, and that's what I wanted to look at today. Now, most of the pieces in the repertoire from my book, which we're playing from, I purposefully created reasonably long arrangements. In fact, some of them, the last few, are sort of 4, 5 or 6 pages. And that's a purposeful thing. I do find a lot of ukulele repertoire out there is really super short. But I also wanted to make the first few pieces in the book quite accessible, so I didn't make them too long. So what I wanted to do is show you how you can take an arrangement and just add a new section to it. And one of the simplest ways to do that with a chord melody like this is just to add a strummed section. And that will sound something like this. So you'll notice you still hear a snippet of the melody coming through. Mostly the notes are on the A string because I'm still moving my fingers in the shapes that I was doing in the original version. And whenever the note falls on the A string, you hear those melody notes coming through reasonably clearly. Sometimes, like on the second measure where I add my finger to the 3rd fret of the E string, the note is sort of lost in the chord a little bit. But that's fine. Our ears have been trained to hear the melody from the first part of the arrangement. Don't feel you need to really pick at it to get that melody to ring out. Our ears will hear it because we've trained them to hear it from the first arrangement, and that's why this is a really simple and easy way to do it. Now we're in 3/4 time, so we're just going to strum 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm literally just strumming up and down on the strong beats, 1, up on the weak beats, that and, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You might prefer to think of it as the on beats and the off beats. On, off, on, off, on, off. Okay? We're in 3/4 times, so we're going to do that 3 times. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Now with your right hand, this takes a bit of training. You won't get it straight away. But we just move these fingers in the shapes that we were using when we're doing the chord melody version. And exactly the same timing, right? So, 2, 3, 2, 3, off, G7. Okay. So, just literally just moving these fingers exactly as I was with the chord melody, but keeping that strum going. Notice when I come to the G7 measure, the 3rd measure, in the chord melody we just played 0, 2 because the melody note was that D note on the C string. This time we do need to finger the whole G7 chord because otherwise it will sound a bit odd. It will sound like... won't sound like the chord anymore. So make sure on that 3rd measure to finger the whole G7 chord. And again, like magic, your ears will hear that melody note even though we're not emphasising it in any way. Have a listen. Isn't that lovely? The 0 of the 2nd measure at the end, that open E, I still do it, but all I do is after I play the first C with the G added, I just take my fingers away. 1, 2, off, G7. Okay. 2, 3, 2, 3, off, G7. Strum that for another measure, and again. 2, 3, 2, 3, off, G7. Now you notice that I'm not adding the harmonic in. That would be crazy to try and strum and then do that without stopping your strum. It's going to interrupt your flow. So all of those harmonics just replace with whatever chord you were playing the measure before. Okay, so that makes the first few bars 1, 2, 3. Off G7. There you go. Lovely, really simple but really effective. Now because we haven't got that harmonic in there, you might have noticed in the video that sometimes I was adding an extra note to the G7 just to add a bit of interest. This comes back to those first two videos. Everything I do is for a reason, and part of the reason I got you to learn those C major scales is that you can add any of the notes from the C major scale to your G7 to make it sound nice. So I could add, say, the 3rd fret of the A string for a C note. That would sound something like this. Here it comes. It's nice, isn't it? Just to add an extra bit of interest. I could add this high D note if I wanted to reach to it. Lovely, really super simple but really effective. So just keep strumming, keep moving these fingers in the same way we did in the original, and you'll have this lovely extended arrangement. Let's keep going with that so you can see how the principle works. So the next bit, we're still going to do that funny A minor with the 2nd fret added to the A string, the A minor add 9, and then we're going to add the melody notes as before. On measure 10, we're going to strum an F. Because the melody note that follows it is an open A, which is part of the F chord, I'll just strum an F chord for the whole of this measure. With the A minor part, it will sound like this. Do the same again. 2, 3, 2, F. And again. 2, 3, 2, F, 2, 3. And then we're going to go to our G chord with the extra D added. Lovely, isn't it? Let's try that whole opening section then. From the very first measure through to that G we did. We'll try it all together. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 3. Off G7. Same again. 2, 3, 2, 3. Off G7. A minor part. You can do this, right? Isn't that really lovely? Really simple but beautifully effective. The next bit, we just keep doing that principle. In fact, you've got it, so you could probably just stop there and have a go yourself. But just wanted to emphasize one thing. When we go to this next bit, again, try and think about your fingering. We want to make sure we've got a finger through for this F note, the 8th note of the A string that follows this C at the 7th fret. Just make sure you've got the right fingers to move upwards. The other thing is push really hard into your ukulele as you strum this next bit, because we want to create a little bit of a crescendo, and we also want to make sure these notes that are on the A string, we want to make sure they ring out really clearly. And if I kind of strum up and away from my ukes, see how you can hardly hear them. But if I push into my uke, so much so that you might actually hear my nails hit the top. Hear how the melody is coming through really beautifully, and that's what I want you to try. So that section, starting from the last measure of the 2nd line, will sound something like this. When you hit that A minor, just strum it. Same with this one, don't worry about the harmonic. Let's try that. Yeah, you got this, you got this. So, second or third finger on that 7th fret. 1, 2, 3. A minor. We go from 10. A minor. Nice. Then we fall back to F, same principle. This measure 26 is interesting. We do lose the sound slightly of that second and third note. What I do is I still lift off this second finger after I play the G chord, so I hear the sound of the A, but the G note is just suggested by the fact that it's still in there. So I'll just hit, in effect, just G chord with my finger down, take it away. With the F before it, sound like this. And I'll do it again. Third time. And then this time, finger travels up, and then we can finish on that C. Okay. What I'll do, rather than just playing the whole of the piece, I will tag that to the end of the video. Let's just try the whole arrangement strummed. Let's give it a go after 3. If you're not quite ready yet, just pause the video, go away and practice, come back and you can join in at this point and have a go. Let's give it a try. Okay. 1, 2, 3. G7. Add a finger if you want. 2, 3, 2. G7. A minor. F. A minor. A minor. And a special G. Up to 7. A minor. Up to 10. Lovely. F and G. F, G, F, G, 3, 5, 6. Yeah! Well done, guys. You've got it. You've got it. So what I'll do is I'll tag the original video, the version of the whole arrangement, so you can see how I piece it together. And I like to do this in jazz, they often call this an ABA format, where we do the first section as is. And we play that all the way through the entire arrangement. Then we do the entire arrangement strummed for a dynamic change. Arrangement, and then I like to play the whole arrangement for a third time back to where we started. It's like a chord melody sandwich with some strumming in between, and you'll see that it's a really lovely way of just lengthening that arrangement out, making it more satisfying. And that's really important because sometimes you might want to do these pieces as a performance. Even if it's just to yourself or your friends and family, you might want to lengthen the arrangements because otherwise they're just over before they begin. So have a little experiment with that and have loads of fun. I hope you really enjoyed that anyway. I certainly did. And hasn't it been nice to really tackle our first proper piece of repertoire? Remember, you can get in touch with me with any questions, and I'll be back in the next video where we're going to take a look at a whole new piece of repertoire with some lovely exercises as well. I'll see you there. You con everyone. Take care. Catch you soon.